just a brown bird singing, no reason to complain. You did the laundry and you shrunk my sweater sleeves. That brown bird singing from my driveway full of leaves. Hundreds of things in this crazy world, they break the heart of this city girl. That little brown bird singing like she's praying. Might not be much, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. Singing that little winter wren. I woke for a minute when you laid down last night, but that brown bird was out there while we snuggled up tight. Hundreds of things in this crazy world, they break the heart of this city girl. That little brown bird singing like she's praying. Might not be much, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. And you steal the covers. That brown bird out there while we're waking one another. I make the coffee just a little too strong. That brown bird keeps coming back every time I think she's gone.
It's there, my friend. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, if that is in fact your real names, to the Tuesday Jukebox. I welcome you. I am your host, Jacob Breitbach, Fiddle Ninja. Tonight is the grand finale of Season 4, and boy, do we have a special show in store for you this evening. The Tuesday Jukebox is a live podcast concert series brought to you by Here in the Valley. Here in the Valley is a creative collective of our Green Mountain River Valley, a northern arts beacon along the Appalachian Trail. We are broadcasting to you this evening from Hanover Strings in historic downtown Hanover, New Hampshire, and Hanover Strings is now entering its 50th year of continuous business on Main Street, so please give them a round of applause for keeping the doors open and prices so low that you won't even think of inflation when you come in the door here. Thanks for joining me here in the shop and out there on the interwebs where I'm being told we have twos of listeners. That's right, folks. We have twos of viewers online, and that's appropriate since this is the Tuesday Jukebox. Grumble, grumble, grumble. We find ourselves this evening in the heart of a place that has seen countless tales unfold, a stage where the whispers of the past echo to us and inspire our present. This funky guitar shop becomes the scene for tonight's performance, where we shall play with the sounds and songs of imagination. Come on in, come on in. The headliner tonight is none other than my very own brother, Glen Breitbach, on tour from Canada via Iowa and parts in between. Back in the month of May, I made the trek all the way back to Iowa to witness his CD release, a joyous occasion, just a real pleasure of mine, and you're going to be in for a real treat. River released this brand new album. It's nothing short of a masterpiece. It's his magnum opus. He's titled it As Above, So Below. The creative process was a multi-year project, a grant project funded by the Iowa Arts Council, and features over 150 musicians from across the state of Iowa. For the opening act this evening, I will be joined in just a moment by my creative companion and co-conspirator in cleverness, the one and only Jess Raymond, in a project we call Beach Armor. A quick thank you to our gracious community supporters whose unwavering support fuels the magic you're about to witness. A special shout out to my friend and DJ Stevens Blanchard at the River 93.9 FM. He's been promoting these shows on the airwaves, as well as having our Jukebox guest host his live locals only radio show that airs at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. So check that out online, streaming on the Great Eastern Radio app, or that thing in your car that broadcasts sounds. It's called the radio. Stevens is a prolific musician, and this is a great service that he does for our community, helping promote and support live local music. This is an audience participation moment for those folks that have been here before. You'll know what I'm getting at, and the rest of you catch on. It goes like this: J-A-M, J-A-M, Junction Arts and Media, J-A-M. All right, JAM is the community-supported and supporting creator of all the live streams that we do here in the Valley, and they also do all the select board meetings and school board meetings. So they provided for us a couple of great camera operators. Mike and Will back there, wave the cameras and give them a round of applause. We're really grateful to have them here as our fiscal sponsor. And we have a little jingle that I'll sing a little later on that highlights the financial sponsorship of White River Subaru. So we're going to save that as a little teaser, okay? Before we get started, though, I'd like to take just a moment to pause as we enter the depths of fall. It feels like harvest is wrapping up and winter is just around the corner. And I wanted to take a minute to just look back at the season of the whole year of here in the Valley that has been producing shows. It started with in Hanover here across the street at Sawtooth Kitchen Bar and Stage back in February. I booted up the Tuesday Jukebox Season 3 over there. In addition to doing our monthly concert series, we also brought back a crowd favorite, the Karaoke Bandstand. It's a live band karaoke at the end of every month, and you can join us. Please join us this October 31st for a spooky karaoke from 7 to 10 at Sawtooth. We'll be doing live band karaoke. It's really one of the most fun times you're ever going to have on a bandstand, a live band backing you up, singing literally any song. We say no to no one. All righty then. I didn't mention the tip hat, and this young man here is going to send this around. Just send it around. People will know what to do with it. There's also a tip box up there. And while people are feeling generous, or when you normally are told to turn your phones off, you can get your phone out right now and either text someone to go to hereinthevalley.org and check out the live stream that's going on there, or just bookmark it for yourselves later where you'll want to subscribe to our newsletter, and you'll be kept apprised of all of the programming that we do here in the Valley. In the summer, we continued our summer concert series on the Wonder Stage of Wilder, featuring acoustic musicians, singer-songwriters. We did have an exception to that rule. This year we had our first looping musician. That was quite an experience, and it was none other than the upstanding proprietor of this here shop, Christopher Rosenquist. So thanks for coming out this summer, and thanks to Christopher for bringing this show here to Hanover Strings. Our flagship endeavor of the year was River Folk, a festival variety show in downtown White River Junction. This year we had 2 sold-out shows back-to-back, and the event has grown so large that we're looking to move to a larger venue or possibly even turn it into a citywide street fair of sorts. So stay tuned for that. Skipping through all these unnecessary notes that I wrote today, I think we're just going to get right into it and bring up a woman who needs no introduction, at least not to most of the people in this room. But maybe there's people out there online who are not aware of who Jess Raymond is. She's, again, my creative collaborator and co-conspirator. Welcome, Jess Raymond, to the stage. Yeah, welcome. I've got lots of surprises in store for you this evening. Guitars getting plugged in. Here, cover your ears.
We made it. There's been a change in me, in the light, in the weather. That needle has been skipping, and it's time to flip the record. Skyline and the Emerald City, something like a prayer. I took a picture of that sunset to remember I was there. And now I've turned around, and I'm headed back to where with such conviction I packed up and left.
I'm going
Yes, I surely took the long way, but I am, I'm going home. Patterns there, they're dug in deep, everyone's to blame. Walls have got a new coat of paint, but they whisper just the same. Some rumors fall away, others seem to swell, but I came to see the place itself, not the story that they tell. It's a gravity I can't refuse, curious black hole. I can't tell while I'm spinning in if the center's warm or cold. But I'm going something's gotta grow on the mound of all these wrong turns I piled between the coasts. It might not be the old house I really came to see. It might be the woods beyond, yeah, that's what's really calling me. But coming or going, sunlight hits those branches. See that from a distance, it looks just like second chances. See, I'm going home. I'm going
now for the banjo.
That's right.
This might be one of the only. I don't know if there's many other banjos in here. Is that possible? Oh, there's one. Oh, there's two. I spoke too soon. Jeez. God, they're the banjo an abomination. They're gonna put an accordion next to that banjo ukulele.
It took Jacob a little while to warm up to the banjo. He was adversarial, but he's come around. All right, this is another one of my songs. This is one. Let's see. What can I say about this one? You know, it's come up a couple times, and whenever I see Allison, I have to think about the time we were talking about the Tony Bennett quote. And so we heard was it on Fresh Air? I think it was Fresh Air. We're all NPR lovers, right? Yeah. I think I heard an interview with Tony Bennett, and he was saying what's the most important thing about performing, or how do I do it? How do you do it, Tony? And he was like, well, I let him know I like him. And I just thought that was the best thing to go through life with. Just let him know you like him. So I like you. And I wrote a song about it. It's called I Can See Your Love and I Want to Show You Mine. Picking up feathers, picking up bones, put 'em in a pocket to carry 'em home. Singing out loud in the woods alone, standing still on the trail with your eyes closed. You get the really good stuff with your eyes all closed. All the run around could just be simplified. I can see your love. I want to show you mine. That little dancer over there, he won't lose his wonder, trying to compare what he's got to what he's not, where he's been to another somewhere. He's found a set of pearls, and they're real and they're rare, and he knows that he's holding more than enough to share. See, all the runaround could just be simplified. I can see your love. I want to show you mine. Some days I'm a tiger, some days I chase my tail, some days I find the shortcut, and some days I lose a trail. There's nothing like a story that's just behind the veil, nothing like a good wind when it's filling up your sail. You need that wind to fill your sail. See, all the runaround could just be simplified, 'cause I can see your love. I want to show you mine. I can see your love. I want to show you mine. I
All right, Jess is going to switch back to the guitar. We're going to prepare to do the lead track off of our most recent studio album, which we are doing a BOGO on today, folks. So buy one, get one. Who doesn't love a BOGO? You don't like a BOGO? If you buy Rivers' album before you leave today, which he has on compact discs, I don't know what those are, or a digital download, that I can understand, then you can have an even more ancient piece of musical technology called a vinyl record. Randall will hold that up for you right there. Thank you. Thank you. It's got a lot of great songs, great artwork that Jess made. And yeah, we were just encouraging you to take Rivers' music home with you. He doesn't want to take them back on the airplane ride. He wants to have them all go away with you here this evening. So we're doing a BOGO, and this is called Three Red Feathers, and there's a little bit of a story to this tune, I suppose.
Well, yes, there is a little bit of a story. Well, I wrote this song about us being, there are a lot of forces in the world that I think are just downright wrong and telling us that we are more unlike each other than we are like each other. And I just don't believe that. And I also think that we're in the perfect place just as we are without needing to get any richer or younger or smarter or skinnier to be able to work on the work that we want to see happen in the world, just as we are. So this is a song about being there, and letting our arrows go. Now all the people, the freckles and braids, with their private prayers and their hot crusades after today, but before the grave, we all want to see those better days. Woke up this morning and I was climbing the walls. I got locked in, but it's my whole fault. One little window and a warm, dusty rain. Tomorrow's not the time to work for the better days. With three red feathers on a silver arrow, and that arrow on a bow. Hold that bow up against your shoulder, and every day you gotta let it go. All the bridges are down now and there's no holding back. So bring out all the questions that you've been afraid to ask. Wake up the bears and get 'em out of the cave. Get us all just a little closer to those better days. With three red feathers on a silver arrow, and that arrow on a bow. Hold that bow up against your shoulder, and every day you gotta let it go. That face in the mirror still got my name. We all got trouble and we all got pain.
Jess Raymond on a singing, songwriting, and guitar picking. I'm going to exit the stage here and allow Jess to bring up a couple of good friends that she's going to tell you a little bit more about, and they're going to sing you a tune, and then I'll be back up, of course. Can't get rid of me that easy.
All right. I'm going to bring up Allison Faye Brown and Lisa Picarillo. And they are going to sing a song with me that we got to work up this summer. And I just love singing with them so much. This is such a treat. This whole world spinning with her fingers crossed. This big old world needs every little thing that you got. Everything you got, baby, everything that you got. This big old world needs every little thing that you got. Time is a bucket, so fill it up with love. Time is a bucket, give it everything that you got. Everything you got, baby, everything that you got. Time is a bucket, give it everything that you got. If you're still right in the river when I'm flying up with the doves, if you're still right in the river, give it everything that you got. Oh, everything you got, baby, everything that you got. If you're still right in the river, give it everything that you got. There's whole world spinning with her fingers crossed. This big whole world needs every little thing that you got. Everything you got, baby, everything that you got. This whole world needs every little thing that you got. Everything you got, baby, everything that you got. This big whole world needs every little thing that you got.
Jess Raymond.
I love you too. Thanks so much. You know, it was a big move a few years ago when we decided to leave the Seattle, our big city life up in where were we? Crown Hill. You don't even know that neighborhood, do you? It's the north of Ballard. It's the north of the hip scene. It's the outskirts, if we're honest, but that's kind of where all the artists were getting pushed to at that point, you know. The center of Seattle was no longer really a place that was going to work, and we were in the outskirts, but we were still happy there, but we decided we were going to make this move back here, and we were scared. And when we first got here, it was cold, and I was pregnant, and we were like, we've made a terrible mistake. This is, what have we done? And, you know, these few years later, so quickly, we have met so many beautiful people, and it's such an amazing community, and I really am so happy that we made that move.
Good job. Good choice. Never fear, though. We left our home in Seattle on Crown Hill to a good friend of ours. He just moved in and started paying the rent. But to Julian Stocking, who recently connected with me and said, "Hey, call me sometime. I miss you, weirdos." He was in the band with us for quite a while on stage and in the van touring around, and he had a saying that I think is apropos. Well, folks, we made it this far, and a long way we have come since we pulled the van in October of 2016. The world was a very different place then. I'm sure everybody can relate to that, and this is going to be a slightly different format of Tuesday Jukebox, where since I know Jess and my brother so well, we're not going to do the typical standard Q&A, just more of like the heart storytelling, sharing hour. What is your first memory of being in Hanover Strings? Do you have any stories, anecdotes?
Oh, geez. I do. I remember, because I grew up here. I grew up in White River Junction. I went to Hartford High School. And I played music in high school, but I played the trumpet. So I did not really go to Hanover Strings in high school. But then there was this little period of time where I had left college and I was living in a cabin way out in Sharon. And I decided I'd learn to play the fiddle. And so I came to Hanover Strings and was like, "Can you get me a fiddle?" And I remember getting brought into the back, and I got my fiddle, and it didn't have a handle. And I was like, "This case doesn't have a handle." And Charlie was like, "Well, Chicago style." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So I felt very in the know, and I took that fiddle out to that cabin and did not learn to play it. That's my first time in Hanover String. But then I did end up migrating from that fiddle to a guitar, and then I came to buy strings all the time.
And you went
because I changed my strings dutifully.
Of course you did, yes. Yeah. And you went to music school in Charlottesville.
No, Chapel Hill.
Excuse me, Chapel Hill. God, I got to get my notes. Chapel Hill, and did a little music school run there, and then came back, which is probably something.
Yeah,
with the
well,
cabin.
one of those. That was it. Went to music school, came back, dropped out of music school, and then went to the woods. Did a lot of time in the woods. I did some hiking. I did the long trail, and I hid in the woods for a while. Yeah, after music school.
And didn't you do the Beyonce Knowles course?
I did do a Knowles course.
Oh,
yes,
just the Knowles course.
Just the Knowles course.
All right. Jess has a few. She loves playing the name game. She loves naming things, especially band names. I believe the first band name you ever concocted was?
I think that my first band was with my buddy Mark, and we were Star Farm Organic.
That sounds like it could be a farm here.
It's a great band name, right?
And then a quick recap of how I got to know Jess. She was playing in the all-girl folky band in Olympia, Washington, and I was in the all-guy bluegrass band in Olympia, Washington. There was some cross-pollination going on between those groups at that time. I was the new guy. Actually, I had just come back from traveling south of the border with my mentor, Paul Anastasio, and had grown a mustache, and my hair was really long. I'd gotten really tanned, and I was speaking a lot of Spanish with my bandmate, Miles, who Jess was dating at the time. And so
the first 10 times I saw Jacob, he only spoke Spanish. So it's not really all that funny that I thought that you only spoke Spanish.
She thought I was the new hot Mexican fiddle player.
When he finally spoke English, I was like, Iowa, what? It really did not compute for a long time.
And so that band that Jess was in was an all-girl pickers band called the Blackberry Bushes, but its very first iteration was...
Oh, we were the Blackberry Bitches, yeah. It was a punk... It was Olympia, Washington, It was a punk bluegrass band.
And then that all-girl band sort of had the inevitable evolution where one of the boyfriends joined the band, and then...
Other boyfriends joined the band.
And then
It was no longer just the girl band. So we were then the Blackberry Bushes. Yeah.
And then the Blackberry Bushes had its own.
Actually, we were the Blackberry Bushes before that because we realized that we wanted to play farmers markets, and they were never going to hire the Blackberry Bitches. So we had to change it up.
So flip through a few chapters, and then the Blackberry Bushes had its own internal meltdown. It became what I have termed the Fleetwood Mac meets Spinal Tap moment in the band, where it just got extremely complicated. We were the only ones that remained after all of the fallout, and then it became Jess Raymond and the Blackberry Bushes.
That was a long URL.
Jess Raymond and the Blackberry Bushes Stringband.com. Go there now if you're not already dead, because it took you so long to type it in. And after bringing that band here on tour and then moving here, we just recently rebranded as Bee Charmer. And here we are. Ta-da! It is charming to be here
Like a buzz bee.
with you all this evening, not to be mistaken with Beach Armor. We are not endorsed by Coppertone. We don't have any sunscreen to sell you at our merch table. But we are going to play one more tune before we get the headliner up here. This is a sing-along that Jess compiled of her tune and an old fiddle tune called The Cumberland Gap, and she did an amazing music video in collaboration with Will Freihofer, given to her as a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and the Vermont Arts Council. There's a theme going on here this evening with grant recipients. And you can find this video featuring about a dozen singers in person and a choir in the background of about
25.
Yeah, and that's at jessraymond.com/sing.
Rivers got me beat on numbers by a long shot, but we still had a very good showing of wonderful singers.
It's a gorgeous video, and it has a great sing-along, and I don't know that we need to really teach these folks. It's so simple. They've got it. 1, 2, 3.
Too, 'cause every little boat leaks, and love is a circle of stones. I'm a pilot tender and you are the light. Nobody rises all on their own. Hang now together, build something right now together. Hey now together, build something bright.
circle of stones, yeah. I'm a pilot tender, and you are the light. Oh, no, nobody rises all on their own. Hey, now together, build something bright. Oh, hey, now together. Hey, now together. Hey, now together.
Build something bright. Hey, now together. Hey, now together. Hey, now together. Build something bright. Excellent. You passed the audition. A round of applause for Jess Raymond as she exits stage center. In just a minute, we'll be bringing up the feature performer for this evening. I'd like to take a minute to point out that there's a guy in the front rows just working furiously. He is Lucas Barrett, and he is doing live portrait drawing every week of our Jukebox artists. Can we get a little update for the fans here? What are we looking at? That's okay. I'm sure it's going to be great. Right. He's doing little masterpieces every week. Love him. All right, this next gentleman, dare I use that term? He was the baby for the longest time in the family band that I grew up in, the One Hat Band. We put the fun and dysfunctional back there in eastern Iowa. He's a very trusting soul. I can tell you that because as a young lad, on a night like this in October once, he let his older brother, who shall remain nameless, pogo stick over the top of him while laying down horizontally on the sidewalk. He will do anything if you ask him nicely. Please make welcome to Hanover Strings, River Glen Breitbach.
Your host, Jacob Henry Breitbach. Yes, there's usually applause when he leaves. Har, har, har. You're going to get a lot of brotherly jokes and banter throughout the evening, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Wow, what a lovely, lovely vibe in this room. Thank you all for being here. And thanks again to Hanover Strings. All right, I've selected a number of songs. We'll see if we stay on track that focus on storytelling. We'll start off with a couple songs that are, well, they're love stories. They're love songs. Spoiler, they don't work out. But this is folk music after all, so at least it's not a murder ballad. Both parties are alive at the end. And for other songwriters, perhaps you feel this too. You've got certain songs that you would never want to play first, and certain songs you're like, that's my go-to first song. You got a couple of those. It's just something about it's like the control. You know, you just want to put one out there. And this is oftentimes that song for me, inspired by a songwriter from Dubuque, Iowa named Nate Jenkins. And this song's called Autumn Leaves. In a starry field, decided summer loving was a bad idea. You'll get your heart rocked, but why not? She was always hanging with them cool kids. He was making mountains of the things he'd missed out on so far in life. So he slipped her his sweater, said, can we get together tomorrow night? She whispered, dress for a good time. So they both floated home a little less alone on the inside. Couldn't get the other out of their mind. She opened the door, her hair cute and curly. She was ready to go, and he'd arrived early, nervous like a first time, but she didn't mind. She took him down off the wall and pulled him out on the floor. Then they beat their feet like leaving's the chore and said goodnight like the sun going down. He said that she was fun. She slipped him the tongue and pulled him inside. And they laughed so hard they cried. 'Cause she was a sinner and he was a beginner under cotton skies, to loving another with open eyes. His small town talk made her laugh a lot, put her out on parole like her parents were cops. He was her first high. There wasn't breaking the law. After a little bit of dancing, little getting down, she was sure that he'd prefer to be hanging out. She put her best dress on and took him for a ride. Felt like the shade in June, felt like her birthday was soon, felt like her knots untied, like laying in the grass when it's warm at night. So 6 weeks slipped by with him by her side, attached at the hip. So sweet, it made you sick. 'Cause in the heat of the long August hours, something sweet can quickly sour. So she just owned it. She made no plea for atonement. She took leave in that moment. 'Cause she was a runner, knew everybody's number at the right time, was just scared to settle down. And he was a bummer till he became a lover in his own time. All she left him was a note sign. Please don't cry or any of that. Summer's going, I'm going too, and I'm taking love along. And when you read this, I'll be gone, 'cause we agreed by walking in that starry field, our summer loving's a seed we wouldn't let yield. Sorry if your heart's rocked, but why not? Yeah, some people talk about love until it shows up, and some change their mind. Some are yellow, and it shows as autumn leaves. Oh, some are yellow, and it shows as autumn leaves. Oh, she was yellow, and it showed. We did it! We broke the ice. Now we have momentum. We're in a relationship now. It's early stages, though. Let's go slow. In fact, let's go slow because I've just gotten out of a relationship. Actually, I will not banter too much. I have some bandmates back in Iowa, and one of the things you'll hear them yell off mic is, "More banter! Everybody says more banter!" Sarcastically. But I do like to use my platform to, tread a little bit of a trapeze act, which is, wield it for the good. I'm trying to tell stories and sing songs, and we're trying to have a good time. But where possible, make a positive contribution. And I suppose in this moment, I'm inspired to share, as I sing this next song, which you'll get thematically in a second. It's a song about a love that starts out, and I'm sure, let's see a show of hands. Who's been in love? Okay, all hands. Whew. But not all loves work out, right? So you have, like, in the middle, you have, like, leveling up. Maybe you move in together, but beyond moving in together, maybe you spend a good chunk of money buying a really nice bed. And then when you separate, one of you's not sleeping in that bed anymore. That really nice bed. And so that inspired me to write a song called Goodbye Bed. That's this song. And my positive contribution, I guess, is to just, like push back against the stigma, is that I have recently separated from my wife. After 6 years of marriage, we've lovingly separated, and it's so hard, and to go around and even to bring it up, it causes other people to have their own feelings about it. And I'll just say I love her more now than I did before we started separating, which definitely doesn't make it any easier. But that's how love can go sometimes. So I'm going to channel it into a song that's not about my relationship, but it sure can seem like it. This is Goodbye, Bed. We were lovebirds in a false spring, so we under-discussed the decision. Another classic case of being impatient and not waiting and going too fast with a good thing. You knew it was a matter of time. I had been sleeping over every night for months on end. There was pizza and beer to help lure friends, to lend us a hand, moving you in across town in a rented van. I parked on the lawn in a good neighborhood. My mom might think is dangerous. It's just that you can tell poor people live here. We were in good company, with such a spring in our step into that 3-story walk-up, box after box after box through the door. Between your box spring and the steps, I might never forget what it took to get you to the second floor. Well, the first few months just flew by. All our neighbors knew just why. Any poet worth their salt would have called it a honeymoon. But by the dead heat of summer, when the sidewalks all simmer, she and I started singing different tunes. The straw that broke the camel's back. I put alcohol in her Camelback. Because of that taste it leaves that you can never get out. She tried to tell me, tried to keep calm, but I only listened to respond. And you just lay there alone in our room while we whittled down with our pet peeves, all the better parts of our being besties. So listen, she's taking over the lease. Goodbye, bed. It's time I'm leaving. We can no longer pretend. She don't live as if forgiveness and no one to understand are the roots on which all good love depends. No, she just recounts my recent failures. Then she runs the whole list down till I can look upon my lover as a friend. One. High level production. I'm moving around. All right. this one does actually, it requires a little bit of setup. And I got to own it a little better. I wrote this song, and it carries with it a sense of duty and responsibility to properly introduce the song, to kind of open us up so that we might let the song permeate a little further in. And, you don't want it to just splash on your skin. You want to rub it in a little bit, let it soak in, because this is a tune that I consider as a songwriter a bit of a responsibility to metabolize and reflect back the times, reflect back our history, our stories for a bit more of collective consideration. Because this is a really heartbreaking story that I learned. And then once I completed a song about it, I was like, well, I can't just be in an extractive relationship with this story where I go around and be like, look at me. Instead, I have to invite you into the heartbreak. So I got a soapbox a little bit. And I'm coming around to owning it, because I was like struggling with with owning it and soapboxing, and my dad, who in his 60s has discovered the internet, watches and reviews everything I do. He has my phone number, so he sends me little text reviews. Thanks, Dad. He just was like, you got to own that if you're going to do it. Don't apologize. So this song is about Africville. Anybody ever heard of Africville? Neither had I. I had never heard of it. So I immigrated to Canada. Turns out, and this is akin to all sorts of stories that have a similar shape, a similar tone and outcome all across the U.S. and Canada, where we'll just put it this way, a local government or the government of the country could just not tolerate the existence of a thriving community. In this case, it's an indigenous community. You would get so many stories in Canada, but this is a story of Africville, which was homes for over 400 people, let's see here, it was freed slaves, runaway slaves, former slaves, and it's just on the north side of Nova Scotia, Halifax, that is, Halifax, Nova Scotia, on the north end of town, and I'll lay it out for you in the song, but just over and over, they put the infectious disease hospital unnecessarily adjacent to Africville. They put the dump on the other side. They had them pay taxes but provided no city services. The police would roll through on numerous occasions and kill the animals, would shoot them. So it was just a really, really tense relationship around this community. And there was a young gentleman born there. His name is Eddie Carvery. And he was so upset about what had happened because the dirty move that finally got played was this voucher system where all these vouchers were handed out and said, I got a mic cutting in and out here. It says, if you move out of your house, we will bulldoze it and we'll add like sewers and everything and build it back. So they got everybody to move out. They bulldozed it down and did nothing. They just tricked them. They reneged on their offer, on their promise. And they even came in the middle of the night and bulldozed down their church, which I think we can all agree is like the lowest of low moves. You go after somebody's house of worship. And understandably, this gentleman was very upset about it. And he wanted to fight back. And his mother, a community organizer, she said, no, don't do that, in so many words. I'm paraphrasing. But if you do that, then you'll be painted a certain way and you'll lose at your mission here. You should stage a peaceful protest. So as a young man, he took a tent and went back to the site of Africville, just on that north side of Halifax. And he set up a tent. And his protest was just to exist there, to live there. And he's still there over 50 years later. He's still there on and off. It's an incredible story. So as I sing you this song, I just ask you to try and relax into the heartbreak of it. And then also, if you enjoy the song, I would encourage you to, further your knowledge, learn the story a little deeper. Not because we can go back for Africville, but maybe it might kind of factor into our nautical settings, our little compass settings for how we deal with other things in our life moving forward. So this is a song I wrote called Africville. Eddie's still in Africville, sleeping on dogs. Halifax bulldozed the houses down. Homes for 400 and some. Empty promises when it was done. The only gift Africvillians ever got was the city people's trash. Eddie's mama put him on task, and he's been at it almost always ever since, calling on Halifax to put it back. Put it back. Early as 1848, plots of land owned legally by former slaves and runaways and free peoples who got there their own way, to found and flourish a village in the face of circumstance less than idyllic, a place that they could call their own. They were proud to call it home. The beating heart of Africville, built in 1849, where they preached and sang. Even Ellington came to Seaview, African United. But like the Halifax explosion, Seaview Baptist got bulldozed down in the middle of the night. Witness to the death knell, protesting there still. 50 years of his life, Eddie's still in Africville, holding on and holding out. With all his heart, he's laid his cards to keep the memory alive. Eddie Carvery, I'm sorry if it hurts to ask, but can the village of your youth ever be put back? Would that we could, but where's it been all this while? Some losses you can learn from them. Some losses are permanent. Africville is both, so come on, Nova Scotia. What has been learned? And in a larger context, I would just encourage one and all, in all sorts of issues, because we are in very polarized times, to maybe join the crowd of trying to heal and slow things down and tease things out, and not join the like out for blood, no matter what issue, because patience and understanding and trying to win people back, whatever your side is. I'm not trying to get too specific on it, but those are the times we live in. So for this next song, I'm going to talk a little bit about the album Jacob mentioned, and I'm going to invite none other than Jess Raymond back to the stage. So welcome her back. In part, this song is about having had one foot out of Iowa and one foot in Iowa for so long. I've been performing, Jacob and I have been performing on and off together for over 30 years, which is just crazy. And so there's always, heading out, and then there's going home again, always back to Iowa so many times, over and over. And this is one of my favorite tracks off of this record. Like was mentioned, it has over 150 singers and musicians, almost entirely from the state of Iowa. Jess Raymond's on it. Hooray!
Honorary Iowa. Yeah.
Indeed. And oh goodness, it spans genres. It gets some of Iowa's most senior and cherished musicians to do things well outside their comfort zone. It was really, really an honor to make it, and I hope you'll check it out. I do have CDs and digital downloads of it. But this is going home again, so enjoy. It's late fall, and a cold wind calls as I begin to wake and open my eyes as slow as the sunrise, while a frost outside awaits. The day's first chore, the sting of the hardwood floor, as I answer nature's call and wash my face. Again I swiftly dress, again I skip breakfast, get some coffee brewed, slip on my shoes and head out the door. Oh, I'm going home again. No, I'm not done roaming, but it's time to see my kin. Tell them where I've been on the road for so long, and that it's always gonna lead me back to them. But my car won't start, hurts like an old broken heart. I sip my drink, take a minute to think, and try not to get mad. 'Cause I could pop the hood, but I know it won't do no good, 'cause I don't know shit about how to fix it. No, I'm not my dad. I just do my best to be patient, my best to better my situation. My morning ends, still calling friends, trying to bum a ride. Bonded by the fading light, I greet my persuaded night. Offer up some cash to pay for the gas, tell her I'll even drive, just to get going, to get me home again, to the fields I was sown in. I've been back many times before, and when I'm done I'm headed back out the door. 'Cause I don't want the rest of this story I'm living to be only about what I have been. Stairway to heaven on a stereo high, taking every turn going 75. She hits a nerve every time she swerves. I worry we gonna die. She says be cool man, everything's fine. Sure this Honda looks like it's barely alive. I know the cabin and the body look a little bit shoddy, but the engine is fine. And it's been a couple years since we split a dime. Dude, did you forget how to have a good time? You're always so stressed, always such a mess. You really ought to unwind. I know you gotta get together tomorrow, but I got a lot of bottles of beer and this guitar. And I know a party that some friends are just starting that we ought to check out. I'm gonna show you, my friend, some of the good that you've been missing. You might not see it as a favor, but I know you're gonna thank me later. So no more bitching and moaning. I'm still gonna get you home for the evening ends. Yeah, thank you, Jess. All right. Well, I do welcome Jacob to come back. I got a song. This is a very literal song. I went out to visit. There's a brother in between the two of us. His name's Jackson, and I'm sure he is. Well, do y'all know what trolling is? My guess is he's trolling right now. He's trolling somewhere on the internet. Lovingly so. A loving troll. But I so happy for my brother. This is the mushy gushy stuff that he has no armor for. I'm so happy for him because he's got a beautiful partner and he's got a kid, little Lilicoy. And so my visit out to see him after he started a new life out in Eugene, Oregon. And it was his partner, Myra. I was hanging out on their deck, and I said, what should I write a song about? And she very matter-of-factly was like, why don't you write a story about your visit here with your brother? So everything in this song is true. As true as can be. There was somebody who busted me that says every kind of rum, and it's like in the context of every kind of rum we had, which was Jackson, lots of kinds of rum. And then at the end of the song, he also led me down on an interesting path, which was we went on a bike ride, and Well, psilocybin is far more acceptable out on the West Coast, and so I was like, yes, I will join you in this psilocybin bike ride. That sounds lovely. Turns out we were bike riding over to his friend's house to help him demolish a building. That was the weirdest day of labor I've done in a long time. It was very weird. And our nephew had come with us, not partaking, but I think he suspected something was up. So this is a song about that visit, and it'll be out on a record coming out early next year. So maybe get on my newsletter, riverglenmusic.com. You can sign up there, follow across social media, and I'll let you know when this record comes out. Jacob's on this song, so it seems very appropriate. Me and you and Eugene in the summertime, coming up, coming on, getting out outside, getting wild. Me and you and Eugene, cruising borrowed bikes, breaking sweats, making bets on frisbees, late nights rolling dice, and in the morning we act tough like we better than we are. We quick to commence shit, talking again like we holding all the cards. Me and you and Eugene, bumping music in the car, staying up way late watching movies, Rick and Morty, Mario Kart. Me and you and Eugene, fiddle and guitar, trip to the ocean, talking about Tolkien, singing songs to the sunset, singing songs to the stars, campfire on the beach, sipping every kind of rum, gonna party till we dead, till we do it again, two brothers, just two brothers living large. A couple of years now, you've been mostly apart. You flew to Eugene, me too much time in my car. A couple of kids who in some ways had a late start, supposedly homeschooled, mostly just made to make art. Thick skin, our armor, living through pain and paradise. And now we both had beautiful partners, these shifting paradigms for us to realize. We growing up, getting on alright, wondering what's it mean to be alive. Me and you and Eugene, just fucking up the home of the Ducks, getting buzzed on craft cocktails, hitting up all them food trucks, hiking up Mount Pisgah, skin burning red, helping out a friend, tripping, tearing down a shed, and wishing we could do it all again. Me and you and Eugene in the summertime, coming up, coming on, getting lit, getting wild. Oh, you should just stay out.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep Jake up here.
So is this a theme now? You'll write a song about this and then go play it with Jackson?
I actually was just thinking, I'm like, I already started taking some notes on this visit. Mm-hmm.
Eat pizza 3 times in 1 week.
Yep.
Certified Ninja Turtle.
We watched the Ninja Turtles. I cried. It's a beautiful piece of art. We went to the Raptor Center and looked at the birds.
And you cried.
I cried too.
You went to the Monshire Museum with Barrett.
And I cried because there was bubbles in my eyes. Just can't even. No, really. He was like, stick your head in here. I was like, okay. What could go wrong? Pull a lever and a little bubble thing comes up. Anyway, but I washed my hair for the week, so we're good. All of it. That's why we had to leave early. By the way, I don't have your membership card anymore. It's been taken, confiscated. Nice visit.
That threat never works with me, with him when I'm there.
Yeah, because they can tell you're his dad. I had major uncle energy. I was over playing the piano. I heard crying from the bathroom and went to investigate. It was some other parent in there with their kid, which I was knocking, being like, Barrett. They were like, don't, we're in here. So anyway, sorry to that persons. Anyway, yeah. yeah, I got a couple fun ones here. We're gonna go a few different directions, because there's never enough time in a show, as far as I'm concerned. We grew up busking, and you got all the time you needed. I mean, no joke. We probably played at least 8 hours of music playing on some of the days we would go out busking.
Rivers' line in his bio is he cut his teeth before his he learned it. You should say it.
My own bio. I earned my chops before all my baby teeth had fallen out.
Yeah, this is true. River was the youngster, like I said, before the littlest baby came along, and his job was to literally go like this. Goes the weasel. That's all he did for like a year, and that made so much money in between the candy store and the ice cream shop in Galena, Illinois.
Yes, and I'm not sour about it at all, but I definitely got Joe Jacksoned a little bit out of an equal cut. I got a pop cut. It was like, here's candy. I got to pick my own candy. Anyway, family band, an experience we'll never forget and never recommend. I mean, do it.
It's somewhat true, but
with our warning. Beware. Enjoy and beware. Yeah, so this next song, slightly different groove to it. I like to write different stuff. This was a pandemic song, which I'm sure so many of us songwriters have our pandemic songs when the respectful and responsible thing to do, regardless of political opinions on it, was to just stay home. There was just clearly a period of just stay home, please, and thank you, as a loving act. And that, for me, was a tiny little cabin in southern Ontario. The footprint of the cabin was maybe twice as big as this stage, and then there was an upstairs. So it's very, very small space. And I was missing my friends because I had been making the big record that we've mentioned a couple times. And then I just had to sit off the road, stop working, and I was missing all my friends. And so I wrote a song about it. It's called Who's to Say? Who's to say when it get tricky picking friends, tricky sticking with them to the end, when they're difficult, indifferent, or just really hard to reason with, when they're stubborn as a raging bull, when their eyes are red from all the alcohol, when they're beautiful. When you're down, good friends come pick you up. When you're drowning, they'll help drink your cup. When you're on a ledge and your legs won't budge, good friends will talk you down or give you a shove. I mean, who's to say what we really need to be human is to age and bruise and bleed. Good friends appreciate your shortcomings. It was easier when college aged to just eat and play, to get high and laid. The fruits of our youth, just a passing phase, ever painted as our glory days. I mean, who's to say what we really need to be human is to gray and fade into memory. Friends remind you you can't see yourself. Good friends will call you up as they give you help. They know which parts of you are stressed and soft. Sometimes they'll poke you there just to piss you off. Friends will save you a spot. Some will spot you some sauce. Some will split the cost. Some will split the loss. Good friends will hype you up when you need a lift. Good friends will call you out when you're full of it. I mean, who's to say what we really need to be human? I haven't been a very good friend to many of my really good friends. for months now, no, wait, for years. Since I fed them, since we've cheersed. And it's true, I know I have been away. And it's true, I know that there's been a plague. I want my friends to know that they all are loved. While in and out of they on air, they still don't ask for much. Just real love and to keep in touch. To holler for help when the seas get rough. Group video calls, pictures of our butts. Onward with tits out, chin up. I mean, who's to say what we really need? Some drumming and a fire and a jug of mead. Dancing circles, calling the sun up from the east. Like we humans are such funny beasts with our rituals and ceremony. Faithful cycles and decaying melodies of spirits and elemental energies. Existence is a crazy fate, but in good company we can create meaning from the lessons friends demonstrate. And yo, some friends be making big mistakes. Some friends still got the hottest takes. Some friends still rock their shitty taste. Some friends still struggle staying out too late. Some friends will only party if it's at their place. I mean, who's to say what we really need to be human? Who's to say? All right. I do a lot of driving, you can tell. Next up, yodeling. I'm getting pretty good at it. I just haven't figured out how to use it without an awkward and back. It's not hard to yodel, but it's what do you do after you yodel? It's a hard return. It's a hard return. Don't yodel on a date, that's for sure.
River does spend a lot of time in his car. He actually did a series of car concerts, a very popular thing on the interwebs, where he sat in his car adjacent to the public library in somewhere in Canada and streamed himself playing his mandolin with his iPhone to the interwebs, and did a theme for each week chosen by his audience. Some random things like songs about fruits, kids' songs, eponymous songs.
Mm-hmm. I'm bringing it back. Another reason for you all to get on the newsletter is I'm going to do a number of car concerts in November, maybe into the start of December. That'll end another season, so you can expect maybe 3, 4, 5 of them. And again, I'm going to lean into the experience I'm having. So I haven't exactly defined this perfectly yet. I'm still workshopping it, which is why you should get on the newsletter, and I'll let you know. But seeing as I've just been in a 6-year marriage and separating, we're going to get real dramatic, and we're going to do like the saddest, most like broken waterfall breakup songs for one of them. We'll do the like over the top angry, like, I don't need you anymore. We're going to do different themes. And I'm just going to process live in front of you. Oh, and I invite you into that. You'll get to request the songs, so you'll be sort of steering the processing, which is, it's like Jesus take the wheel kind of situation.
River Glen, ahead of his time. We didn't have yearbooks as homeschoolers, but my mom would have put in there, most likely to exceed, I think was the catchphrase for him. He's so ahead of his time. He's a month ahead of No Shave November here. Let's give it up for this mustache here. Near the end of October. Mm-hmm. He does it. I guess they have an embargo against razors up there in Canada.
It's true. It's so that you can tell I'm sad on the inside by being sad on the outside too. It's
we have a permit for that thing, son?
That's well, they did list it among the reasons we got kicked out of the science center. So, the bubbles won't go because your mustache is present.
River is also taking suggestions for Halloween costumes that have both big mustache and ponytail. So
Yeah.
put those in the chat or send them to us here if you're in person later. And I'm sure the folks out there on the interwebs would love to contribute anything and everything they can, including perhaps some donations. And perhaps Nathan could put out the Venmo handle there on the interwebs to the folks listening online. River does have a pretty good following around the country as he's been touring quite consistently for the better part of a pandemic, which is really weird that you did tour and then stopped touring and then started touring again, and now you're full on into tour mode. You're just, he doesn't even have a place to park his car that's his own. He's just couch surfing a parking lot to parking lot. Not even getting a storage unit.
It's true. I whittled down my belongings. I'm living free. It's bittersweet freedom, to be honest. And are we doing? Is this? We're in the interview portion. Look how sneaky this guy is. He just snuck us into the interview
dual
portion.
interview, you know. What was your favorite, if not worst, memory of being in a family band busking? Not the other stuff, just the busking part.
Oh, I could do. Oh, geez. Favorite? Yeah, right. Well, if you want the real, there was the county fair where we did 3 shows a day over the course of 6 days. We did 18 shows, opposite 2 other acts, one of them being a family cowboy band, where they had a trick horse who would do moves, and then the kid would like do the loop stuff and dance through it, and then the mom would get on the spinning wheel, and the dad would throw knives next to her head, which is a solid relationship they were working on there. And they had matching outfits, and then there was one other act that is... Was it a hypnotist? I forgot who the other act is. He probably hypnotized me, and I can't remember. So he was like, I don't ever want to see you again. Forget me. But we were this big, rambunctious family band, and it was very stressful because Huey Lewis and the News was the headliner one of the nights. And we showed up, and this is Iowa in like end of July, early August. It's hot. It's humid and hot. And we showed up on like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th day, something, and the tent was gone from the top of our stage, and we're just in the direct sunlight. And we're like, where's our tent? And they're like, well, you see, there was this contractual issue with Huey Lewis and the News where they needed another tent outside their 4 tour buses. And so we marched over as a family to look down and see our tent around their buses, and we're like, no, Huey Lewis and the News! Yeah, and this makes it sound like I'm telling a good story, but I was actually going the other route, which is that we did get in a full family fight in front of a full audience as we ended our set, and I definitely was like, oh, yep, there was, it's, yay, family. There's a lot of love, big highs, big lows. It was real love. Real love. That's the important part to keep in it. That's why it's like we caution against the family band thing, because it's like a fire that burns hot, but what is the fuel being burned if not all of you?
Oh, yeah. You learn a lot of bantering techniques, getting back to that, being a busker, where you know that the audience really wants just a little bit of abuse in order to give you the money in the hat. And it's also a great way to clear an audience, is to just full on insult them until they literally leave and clear the curb for the next 50 people to come by. River came out to Seattle when I graduated from college, and we busked out there. And we had, it was at Folklife, one of the largest, if not the largest, free folk music festivals in North America. And we would set up to busk in the Seattle Center. It's just tens of thousands of people, dozens and dozens and dozens of buskers all over the place. And you'd have like a beatboxer, and then like somebody with a shruti box, and then some banjo freak. And I had ran away from a circus that I had joined when I changed school. So I ran away to a circus, and then I went away from a circus, and I borrowed an idea of blowing on bottles to do like You Are My Sunshine. And the circus people all but sent us a cease and desist letter to never do bottles in Seattle because we'd stolen their idea.
Little did they know, we have a whole collection of cease and desist orders as a family. It's a point of pride, actually.
This is the G-rated, PG-rated story. There's a lot of stuff that if you want to hear the really good stories, we're not going to say them online.
Oh,
But
no.
you can hang out with us later, maybe at Sawtooth or in the back room here.
No, I'll give him one more before I play the
Okay.
next song. I'll give him one more. And only because there was a somewhat unanimous sibling contribution. They all called for this story. They said, more banter. When I asked the family, I was like, because for those of you who watched last week and were here, Dana was a fantastic storyteller. And you should, if you missed out on that show, go back and watch the archive of it. Check it out.
HereInTheValley.org.
HereInTheValley.org. Wonderful songs, wonderful storyteller. And I texted all my siblings, this guy's crushing it. I got to have some stories ready. And all siblings remember this incident in which I sang 2 songs with the family band.
So just quick record straight. I'm the oldest of 5 fiddlers. Then there's my sister Maple Flo. Then Jackson Chester. Then River Glen.
And then Kyron Marjorie.
And then Kyron Marjorie. And he got the middle name of the grandmother because that was the only grandparent that had not been named after yet. And he just happened to be a boy, and he got Kyron Marjorie. The only intentional child, my parents have told me. The rest of us were mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's 17 years younger than me, and he's just way more hip.
And yeah, I'm going for the saucy story here, which is just, you wouldn't believe it. It's true, though. I sang 2 songs for over 15 years with the family band, and those are the only 2 songs I sang for some odd reason. It was Dark Hollow and All of Me. And
Oh, you have to remember, you got a friend in me.
oh, but that was like a flashbang, like it got sung at one show that got videotaped, and that video was infamous. And so I dutifully sang these 2 songs for years, hundreds of like many thousands of shows, I would imagine. I don't want to count that out. But during one of the performances in small town Wisconsin, at a fundraiser for the local fire department, I was singing one of my 2 songs. I will admit I cannot remember which song it was. It would be funnier if it were All of Me because of the arms thing. And while we were a hot mess as a family, we were also a beautiful, burning, bright beacon for people to be like, wow, look what this family is, and look what a family can be, whether or not they knew the cost of burning so brightly. And we did take it very seriously. We were very proud. We got into a good stretch there after like making sounds and ruckus for a number of years. We got real good, and we were doing incredible group harmonies. We were taking it very seriously, and we prided ourselves on being professionals. And in this moment, my training held true, which is that while I was singing, I was playing a mandolin, a little smaller body, and I'm singing like this, probably looking down because I was a little bit ashamed that I hadn't learned a new song in the last 12 years. And 2 arms just came into my vision and reached around my belly region while I was singing and playing. And you'll have to forgive this, but it's true. I began to just be enthusiastically humped from behind. Like, whoa, which I challenge any performer out there to not miss a note when that just starts happening. And it was just a young child who was just feeling the music, and he just had to let me know. And of course, it was accompanied by the shriek of his mother, like running to come get him, like, ah! And, my looking back, and of course, my family, they went, yeah, like, this is the best thing ever. We should stop there.
There was no Jackson 5-ness going on. There was no, like, it was just more like lots of IPAs, lots of other substances that people should or shouldn't do with their teenage children when they have a family. They do a lot of camping trips in the summer, which I do recommend. But, make sure you diary those stories because they're going to be useful someday, and you may not remember them as well as your other siblings do. They're golden. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hang around with us later. We'll unleash the Kraken.
Yes, we'll be confiscating phones
You think
into
that
little
was what
pouches
happened to you
before.
with that
Yeah.
kid was.
Which is funny because my original music, interestingly enough, has quite the appeal to children. I've had many parents come up to me and say, I'm thinking of a person from Chicago who's like, my daughter makes me put on your album. It's an album called Pull My Hair. And they said, they make me put on your album every day when I take her to school. And I was like, I am so sorry. Like, why would you? But for whatever reason, hey, I think there's a wholesome element to it, and I'm gonna take my creativity to the nth degree on this next one, which is just gonna get the shortest introduction because we got to keep the show rolling. I was on social media. I was scrolling like you do. My fingers hurt. Tech neck. I came across a Rolling Stone article. It said the 300 greatest rock and roll songs of all time, according to Jay-Z. I oddly was like, respectfully, who cares? Why? What? And I clicked on it just to be like, what's he say is the number one? And then it was like, oh, these are all the same 300 songs from everyone else's list, just kind of reshuffled a little bit. It's not like, and somewhere out of the annoyance of that, I came up with the idea of making a mosaic of a song. A mosaic of a song. And so what I'm about to play for you is a song I can never afford to publish. And it's my original song, and it's called Tiny Dancer. Pretty little chica, little love seeker, getting by, getting high, to voices on a speaker. She mostly don't need much more. Tiny dancer, hold me close, tied to the whipping post. Talking about my girl, Earth Angel, tangled up in blue. The night they drove old Dixie down, tears in heaven, higher ground. Don't fear the reaper, feed your head like a rolling stone. The thrill is gone, just like Buddy Holly and Mary Tyler Moore. I really want to know you're my sweet Lord, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Spirit in the sky can't buy me love. Ticket to ride, nowhere to run. I walk the line into the mystic. A day in the life I will survive. Teenage wasteland, close your eyes. There's a bad moon on the rise. Running on empty, running low. Hit the road, Jack, painted black. Papa's got a brand new bag, killing me softly with this song. I fought the law, what's going on? Hey teacher, leave them kids alone. The harder they come, what I say, the harder they fall. Oh, to Billy Joe, just another brick in the wall. The wind cries Mary, Jolene, Roxanne, sweet emotion, Billie Jean, I wanna hold your hand. Good golly, Miss Molly, I saw her standing there. Visions of Joanna, good vibrations like a prayer. Honky-tonk women, superstition, purple rain. Welcome to the jungle, light my fire, Maggie May. Wake up, little Susie, Mustang Sally, maybe I'm amazed. Take another little piece of my heart, take it, Penny Lane. Chain of fools, heart of glass. Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Fight the power, walk on by. A heart of gold, a hard day's night. Bittersweet symphony, Eleanor Rigby. Gloria, all apologies. I wanna be sedated, the times they are a-changin'. I can't make you love me. Pretty little chica, little love seeker, getting by, getting high, to voices on the speakers. She mostly don't need much more.
River Glen. Live on the Tuesday Jukebox, coming to you from Hanover Strings. The season finale. This is quite the culmination to a short month. It's a bittersweet ending to a month, not just because it's the last of the 4-week concert series, but because River's leaving tomorrow morning on a jet plane via the Dartmouth coach at 4:40 in the morning. That's gonna hurt.
Is my driver here? Don't leave without me.
So in a way, we're throwing a party tonight. It's a going away party. I do love my brother. I love all my family. I love all my siblings, both my parents, both of them. It's not like we had a Jackson 5 thing going on. It was really good. It was good times. Like, of course, I was the oldest and left home the soonest, so perhaps I left a teenage wasteland in my wake.
You just didn't let mom's friends cut your bangs, which was a really smart move.
Folks, I know you're getting tired, but we don't got time. I think we have time for 22 more songs, so just strap on the catheter. It's not quite time to leave yet.
2, 1.
You guys want a couple more songs? You feeling it? Sure.
Okay, we can do 2.
Yeah.
So I'll do.
Make them good. Make them quick.
Okay, good and quick. Rip.
I think they've heard us talk enough. They just
All
really
right.
wanna hear
Yeah.
us
They.
sing.
Okay. Okay then. We'll do another song about Canada.
Okay.
It's not Blame Canada. No. This is just called. It's another original song. It's called "Oh Canada." The naming conventions. You can see where I'm going with this. Oh, Canada, coast to coast to coast, record floods, record freeze. Another symbolic vote, thoughts and prayers signaling another heat dome and record fires out west in BC. Our home on stolen lands, who stands on guard for thee? Oh, Canada, another mining disaster. Count the workers who've died. Grab a shovel, dig your friends out. We might just give you overtime. Oh, Canada, we suits have money enough to lose to excuse us from our crimes. If those francophones would just forget, we'll reopen the asbestos mine. Another industry insatiable, eating old growth by the load. Another standby land defenders looking down the devil on a corduroy road. Real calamities like the Klondike can get lost in how the story's told. Extractive systems silence their victims. Another rush, another rape, Barrick Gold. The true north of betrayed treaties. Oh, Canada, your love of maples and monopolies. Like Rogers in communications, Loblaws in grocery. Quick, another snap election, a mandate for more mediocrity. Oh, Canada. All right, we've come to the last song, which means I'm going to invite Jess Raymond to come back up on stage, and we'll close it out together as a family.
Oh, I feel a family band coming on.
Yes.
That's the bumper sticker. That's coming out next month on the bumper sticker.
The band was called The One Hat Band, and the got left out half of the time. We'd play places, and it would say, One Hat Band. And we'd go, no, we are The One Hat Band.
Yeah, because we all wore hats, and people be so confused and perplexed by why there was more than one hat. We're like, the is for the band part, not the hat. The one hat band. I don't know. Names are complicated.
Yeah, the one hat band.
You were the hat band, not one hat band, but the one hat band.
Yeah.
Right.
People were like, "You're the laughing too loud and sometimes yelling band."
Sometimes cry.
Sometimes, and you always play the same songs. So what's going on here?
My mom asked that I dedicate this show to Artie, who
Yes.
we knew as the cowboy who would snake our spot in Galena.
Isn't it funny to look back, and I remember having a adversarial relationship with Artie as a child, where I was like, "Grr, that man with the hat always taking our spots." See,
We'd have to get there at like 5 in the morning to get this one busking spot in town because it was permitted so heavily. Because we became successful at busking, they decided to permit the town. And we, as a family, this is a good story. As a family, we went to
Take a seat.
we went to the whatever the select board there is, the town meeting, to play. And Mom was at a home birth; she's a midwife, and so all of us siblings, the 4 of us at the time, went with my dad to play a song in front of the Galena City Council. But our middle brother Jackson, who's definitely the middle child in the middle child archetype, always was kind of the didn't want to do it, really begrudging. And we went up and played, and Jack was refusing to do it, and Dad made a joke, and Jack in the back ran up thinking that Dad had made a joke about him, and just shouted in front of everybody with his ponytail and his tie-dye shirt and said, "Dad, you're a shit, and you're not funny!" in front of the whole city council, and then marched right back. And of course, that just made us all die laughing. And they permitted that town so heavily after that.
Well, we are just going to end the show after this song with like a bow and and the tech thing. So I'll put one small plug into those of you watching online, because I'm sure some folks are watching from the Midwest, which is to remind you that this weekend and next weekend, the Stories in Song Tour 2023. I have partnered with Joel Sayers out of the Cedar Valley and Abby Sawyer out of Des Moines. We are playing in Iowa City on Friday night, Dubuque on Saturday night, Cedar Valley, that's Cedar Falls rather, next Friday, and Des Moines next Saturday. Come out and see the show. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about the craft of songwriting, sharing the stories, kind of a 3 songwriters, 3 stools, 1 stage type of arrangement. So if you're in the Midwest, if you're within, we'll just say 6.5 hours of any of those towns, come join us. 1 tank of gas there, 2 tanks there, 2 tanks back.
Yeah, if you folks know anybody in Iowa, let them know. Tell all your friends, both of them.
Yep, and
Iowa,
you just
get
go
out
to
there.
riverglenmusic.com, riverglenmusic.com. All the details are there, and I hope to see you at the show. Definitely let me know if you are coming because of this, and I'll be surprised.
Yeah. We'll do this one last song and then turn the house lights up. Please don't scatter off too quickly. Say hi to River, grab some merch, and thank you all very much for coming out. Thanks to Hanover Strings for hosting this concert series. We hope to be back here maybe as soon as April. This has been a real joy and an honor and a pleasure to produce these shows for you all and for me, and to end this series with my brother River and Jess. Here we go. Family Band! What's the song?
It's in 3/4. It's in 3/4 time. Don't play in 4/4. It's in the key of C.
I'll ballet to this. We were both in ballet. I started a tradition of Bright Black Brothers doing ballet. That's another part.
I'm going to play him off.
I'd like to thank the Academy and my mom.
Life will serve you summons, press on. Life's a lot of little lessons, press on. Study or you'll stumble. Life will keep you humble. Life's a lot of learning, press on. Life's a lot of growing pains, press on. A lot of not knowing pains, press on. A study in pleasure, in pleasing, in goodbyes, in grieving. Life's a lot of flowing, float on. There is wisdom in stories and songs. there's dreaming, there is wisdom in stories and songs. Careful what you bet, you could be wrong. Don't be quick to judgment, you may be wrong, you may be wrong. When it comes to gods and laws, remember, take pause, don't fold when you can check, you could be wrong. If you think you got her figured, guess on. Said if you think you got her figured, guess on, guess on. Her rhymes and her reasons, her rhythms, their leanings. If you think you got her figured, guess on. If she's had all she can take, lay off. If she's about to break, lay off. She could be pushed to the limit. She could be handling her business. When she don't answer back, lay off. Jess Raymond, Jacob Henry Reibach, all the crew here. Thanks so much to JAM. That's Jam!
We gotta do our jingle, right?
Okay.
To Subaru of White River for sponsoring this event, our fiscal sponsor making this whole thing possible. Thank God we didn't forget.
They get you where you're going, four-wheel drive is straight. Just like every other person in the Green Mountain State. You know, White River Subaru.
We're having more fun than we deserve. Thanks for sticking around. Turn the lights up, Sailor, and we'll see you guys out around the merch. Thanks to Mike Daddy. Thanks to Will Freihofer, Nathan Perrin back there on the tech, and the old man Joe Alvin in his young 70s. And Sailor Biliou is waving a sign-up list for the email newsletter. Thanks for your contributions. Thanks for your attendance. Tell all your friends about the Tuesday Jukebox, both of them. No better.